This is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with the Internal Revenue Service. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. Um, I've created this station really for three reasons. Number one, to give you the information you need for behind the scenes of IRS so you know what IRS thinks on things. The second is to be educational to you, so I can tell you there's some topics that I give you that you're not going to find this information out anywhere else. And third, there's a lot of people that rip people off on YouTube, and they have salesmen and people reading scripts, and when I see it, it kind of really makes me sick. Anyway, a little about me. I worked at IRS for a decade. I've been in private practice for 4 decades, so I'm 50 decades old. 5 decades old in this business. So anyway, I have a whole team of former IRS agents. I don't do any marketing or advertising. If you want us to represent you, give you a consultation, we can. One of my jobs I had as a former IRS agent, revenue officer, is I worked the offer program. I used to accept offers and deny offers, and I am one of the country's leading experts in the offer and compromise. And there's some behind the scene things that you need to know about offers and compromise that you don't find from other people who purport to really know offers and compromise. And that is, what is the actual mind? What is the actual mind of the revenue officer or agent working your case? So you're going to hear from me behind the scenes, so you know. And I've just didn't accept them and deny them. I used to go to Atlanta and teach people how to accept and deny offers and compromise, all the revenue officers. So you should know that what a revenue officer does when they go ahead and process the offer. There's a whole checklist of things that you have to go through. You want to make sure all those check marks are there. But before you even open up the case, the first thing you do is you pull a summary of account. You want to make sure all tax returns are filed and that your taxpayer is current on estimate payments, 941 deposits, and withholding and or Social Security. If they're not, the offer goes back. It's immediately rejected at that point. So if you're not current, don't even bother to go ahead and fill out the offer. It's not going to be accepted. So let's just say at that point in time, you have an offer and compromise that's worthy to move forward. So what you do is you check procedurally, because the offer is actually a legal document between you and IRS. You make sure everything is filled out correctly. Then once you go ahead and you know that's correct, you move forward. But I want you to know one important thing about the offer and compromise. As an agent, this is really important. You look for the stink on the case. Yep. You look for the stink. You look for what does not make sense about the offer and compromise. As an agent, I'm always very dubious when people send financial statements and stuff that they're trying to pull something over on me. Just a fact. I just want you to know that it's a fact that I'm going to look immediately what's wrong. And these four things should be in play when I'm reviewing an offer and compromise. If I were to look at your tax return and it shows that you have $48,000 worth of income, that means you should have a $4,000 average deposit going in the bank, right? You have $4,000 a month times 12 is 48. Your cost of living, where you live at, I'm probably looking at rent at about $1,500 a month, because your rent is about, I don't know, 28% to a third of what that is. And then I'm looking at your financial statement. So all four of those things have to make sense. Your bank statement, okay, your cost of living, your financial statement, and lastly, your tax return. Your tax return have to match, and there's got to be a common core throughout those. So as soon as I look at your offer, I'm immediately going to go to the bank statements and say, does it match up to the tax return? Does it match up to the cost of living? And does it match up to the financial statement that's going on. Know these things. Offers and compromise are an art. They're a really art to get one accepted. Not everybody is eligible. What I want to tell you today, now that I've given you a little insight on how the IRS is thinking, they're thinking very defensively, and they'll go after you offensively when they find something wrong. You just got to understand, if you're going to do it yourself, give it the best shot. These forms are long and they're very tedious. They're a pain in the ass. I don't even know. There must be at least 100 questions on there. But really, at the end of the day, if you're going to hire someone, us or whoever, do not, listen to me, do not give your money to anybody. No, anybody, unless there's two requirements I ask for that you think about. A, the person you're speaking to is an attorney, a CPA, an enrolled agent, or licensed to practice in front of IRS, and that person has your current financial statement that you're going to turn into IRS. Do not give your money, because there's a chance if you break one of those two things I told you, you're going to get scammed and you're going to lose money. You always want to speak to the person working your office. You also want to find out what sort of experience and what results are. For instance, if you were to call me, I'd look at your form, probably tell you literally within 10 seconds what your offer and compromise is. So be cautious. Don't give your money out. Make sure the forms are filled out right. And above all, make sure all your taxes are paid in full for the current year, and make sure your estimate payments are made, and at least you have a good start. By the way, if this information was helpful, how about leaving me a subscription? YouTube is really big on subscriptions, so I'd really go ahead and appreciate that. Leave me a comment, give me a like, whatever you want, but I'm happy to answer questions for you. Thank you.